This time on Monkey Life.
Come on then.
The park offers a new home to a lonely Stumpy from Germany.
It'll be interesting to see what she's like, how feisty she is.
Excitement at Hananya's when the Chimp team suspect Cherri might be pregnant.
Shaking again.
I'm shaking.
And it's time for Xiaokuai to say goodbye to son Jin as she leaves him behind in the nursery. Monkey World in Dorset is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescues and rehabilitates abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Just with a hacksaw, I could take 3 of these bars out and pull her out.
The park provides a home for more than 240 monkeys and apes. The aim is to give them as happy and natural a life as possible. Alison and animal manager Jeremy Keeling have a long journey ahead of them. They're just arriving at Dover and are about to head over the channel to Calais en route to pick up the park's newest resident. Flo is an elderly stump-tailed macaque who has recently lost her partner. For the last 25 years, she's been living at an animal rescue centre in the German city of Munich. But staff there are worried she'll be lonely on her own, so have asked Monkey World to give her a new home. However, Flo may not find it easy to fit in with the other Stumpies at the park because she spent most of her life surrounded by people.
We've had experience of another individual who was very similar when we got Coco from Hungary. She too was very humanized and needy and needed that extra bit of human attention. And Flo's going to need that to make this transition as well, so.
She sees a lot of people, so she must be, pretty comfortable around people. And although it's only recently that her partner died, she's been in that situation for a long time. So I'm hoping, and I believe that, she is going to be quite sort of good at socialising. She's probably a lot better at socialising than I am.
Alison and Jeremy have only seen photos of Flo, so don't really know what to expect.
It'll be interesting to see what she's like, how welcoming she is to new strangers, how feisty she is, because every primate, whether it's a stump-tailed macaque, a gibbon, a chimpanzee, they all have unique personalities just like humans. And Flo will have her own opinions and outlook on the world, and it's going to be for us to try and work out what they are so that we can meet her needs and wants from now and on into the future.
Back in Dorset, the park's existing stump-tailed macaques are unaware of Flo's impending arrival. They're not the friendliest of primates at the best of times, so a newcomer will definitely throw a spanner in the works. Today, they're being given a low-calorie snack to encourage them to get outside. Many of the Stumpies have had weight issues in the past because they were used for research in laboratories and didn't get much exercise.
Popcorn's quite good for them. They do like it. It hides well in the grass so that they have to go around and they have to actively forage for it. Since they've all arrived, we've had a constant battle with them to get the weight off them. So any low-calorie treats that get them moving and get them active are really good for them.
They're also being given juicy grapes on the vine as a special treat.
Most of them are fairly elderly, they're quite arthritic. It's going to be a bit of work for some of them to actually manipulate these and get the grapes off the stems and things. So hopefully, again, it's something that should keep them busy and keep them active.
Kelly, who is the dominant female, is first off the starting blocks, followed closely by leader Sam, who immediately starts to hoover up the popcorn. In Stumpy society, there's a very serious pecking order, and the high rankers always get first dibs when it comes to food. Kelly is using her big cheek pouches to store as much popcorn as she can, while high-ranking Noreen prefers the grapes and has no intention of sharing. Sylvie is one of the youngest in the group and is making the most of her agility to get to the treats. Most of the other Stumpies don't even attempt the swing steps, which call for a degree of balance and nimbleness. Charlie, also being one of the youngest, could try the steps, but doesn't see any point in pushing herself unnecessarily. With the high rankers occupied, Jonathan, who's near the bottom of the pecking order, takes his chance to grab some of the leftovers. As does Phil, who really is the lowest of the low. But he knows from bitter experience he needs to keep a watchful eye out for the others. There are some big personalities in this group, and newcomer Flo is going to have her work cut out winning them over. Monkey World doesn't actively breed chimpanzees, but occasionally there have been accidents.
Cherri! Cherri!
Cherri is the dominant female in Hananya's group, and recently staff have noticed that she's been putting on weight, so they've decided to do a pregnancy test. Like the other female chimps, Cherri is on the contraceptive pill. But a few months ago, the group were put on antibiotics as they had bad colds with chest infections. So it's possible the pill didn't work.
Cherri's always had a little bit of a belly, but it's grown bigger than what we would expect, and she hasn't put weight on anywhere else. And she's also been a bit subdued, sort of taking herself away from the group a little bit, not enough for us to be majorly concerned about her.
Lisa needs to get a urine sample from Cherri, so is plying her with fluids. She's giving her fizzy drinks as a special treat because she knows Cherri wouldn't be interested in plain old water. Catching a urine sample from a chimp is never easy, but the team have rigged up a very basic contraption which they hope will work.
You know, it could take 5 minutes or it could take, a half an hour or so. We just pretty much will keep going.
If Cherri is pregnant, it won't be her first experience of motherhood. She has had 2 accidental babies before. First, there was Seamus. He's now the most mischievous chimp in the all-male bachelor group. And then there was a little girl called Pip. Unfortunately, Cherri was very young with both those pregnancies, and although she initially cared for them, after a while she lost interest, so they had to be hand-reared by staff.
Ideally, what we would have is Cherri rearing her own baby, and we just don't know if that will happen. It may be a case of third time lucky, but in the past she hasn't, so that does worry us, and that is a concern for us.
Finally, Cherri cooperates.
Success.
Well done, Cherri. Good girl.
Human pregnancy tests work just as well with chimps. If Cherri is pregnant, it will have a massive impact, not just on her, but on the whole group.
That was 120. I'm shaking.
Okay, yeah, so the test says pregnant.
It's emotional for the chimp team, who've known Cherri a long time.
It's a very exciting moment, obviously. Time will tell. We just hope that Cherri is excellent this time.
From chimps to orangutans and woolly monkeys to lemurs, the team are always keen to encourage the primate's natural behaviour. And today, Fennel and her gang are going to have their balancing skills put to the test. Lemurs love fruit, and melons are great because they're low in calories. But they're going to have to work for them. In the wild, lemurs are opportunistic feeders because there isn't always a lot of food around. so they have to be agile enough to get to any source of nourishment they can.
Oof, hang on, you're extra weight. I'm not ready for it.
The aim was for the lemurs to walk along the rope. But Renton, who's on the heavy side, has other ideas and is using his weight and core strength to his advantage. Female Kaya is cheating too by hanging from a branch. Finally, Douglas gets it right, followed closely by Houdini. Blue, who's the only ruffed lemur in the otherwise ring-tailed group, is biding her time. And when the coast is clear, she nips in, showing great prowess for an elderly lemur. Fortunately, there are plenty of melons to go around, so Houdini manages to get a second bite at the cherry. While Fennel lets Renton do all the hard work for her. Blue may be older than most of the other lemurs, but she's passed this agility test with flying colours. Coming up, Jeremy makes friends with Flo, but can he persuade her to climb into her travelling crate?
Worst case scenario, we have to physically put her in the box.
And O'Sheen gives Jin a hard time when he tries to make friends with her adopted son, Sylvester. Alison and Jeremy have finally arrived in the German city of Munich. They're on their way to an animal rescue shelter to pick up a monkey who's been living there for the last 25 years.
Oh, Marcus, good to see you.
Sorry, I have to
Yeah.
give you my left hand.
Yeah.
How are you?
Very well. And this is Jeremy, Marcus. Excellent. Should we go on in?
Yes.
See Flo?
Flo is an elderly stump-tailed macaque. Until recently, she'd been living alongside a male Stumpy, but sadly he's died, leaving her all alone.
Oh, she's looking older than her photograph. She has gone grey. Yeah, okay.
Having spent most of her life around humans, Flo loves having people around her.
Has she ever been aggressive with anybody?
Ist sie jemals aggressiv gewesen? Hat sie mal gebissen oder so? No, never.
Nothing.
Never.
Oi. Flo.
Jeremy makes the first approach. He wants to see if he can gain her trust.
You know, you take a look at her and you can just see the hair's gone very grey. She's definitely a little more sort of wizened and shrunken. And that now looks to me like an old macaque, whereas the photos from previous, actually, she didn't look quite so old. So yeah, she's an old deer. But her mobility's good.
Grooming is an essential part of macaque behaviour and a good way to develop friendships. So Jeremy is grooming Flo's coat to help create a bond with her.
Clearly, she's just totally malleable, and she's being really good with Jeremy and doing what I would call displacement activity. Like, she's focusing like on grooming her leg, the most important thing in the world, therefore ignoring everything else that's going around her, which is a really benign way to meet people. It's not confrontational because I'm just really busy over here on my own. But now she's starting to look around. She's actually looking over towards me. Jeremy's grooming her really lovely. So I think we're gonna make good progress.
Flo will be travelling back to the UK in a special crate. The team have decided to put it in her enclosure to get her used to it.
You think she will go in a box nicely?
No,
No.
you have to catch her.
Yeah.
Can she go up there?
Okay.
So it looks like they could have their work cut out.
Worst case scenario, we have to physically put her in the box. We can, but that is plan B or C. Let's give her a chance to just go into the box. Why would you not?
Come on then. Come on then.
But when the crucial moment arrives, to everyone's surprise, Flo capitulates and walks straight in.
Next up, Callie, that actually went amazingly well. No grunting, no screaming, a whole group of people to wave her off, and yeah, so we're really pleased and happy. And she should have a quiet journey because it's nighttime now. She should go to sleep in the box as soon as we get on the road and it's quiet. So far so good, really happy. See you soon.
Flo isn't the only one moving to a new home. Back at the park, young orangutan Jin has recently moved to his new home at the nursery and seems to be settling in well. He was living in Gordon's group, but was moved because Gordon had become a little unpredictable around him. His mum Xiao Kuai and adopted baby sister Awan came over to the nursery with him to ease the transition. It's now time for them to go back, but the orang team aren't sure how Xiao Kuai will react to leaving her son behind.
We hope that she'll just walk back over, but we do have a backup plan if she decides that she doesn't want to. And we've just got to see how Jin will react in the process.
Jin is loving being back with his elder brother Kai, who also lives in the nursery. And he seems to have forged a close friendship with mischievous Linga.
We're really pleased with how independent he's proved to be in the nursery, away from Xiao Kuai at times during the day. So I do think he is confident enough to handle the separation. I do hope that in the siblings that he's now going to have and all the friends he's got in the nursery and the other females in there, that will provide enough support for him to be fine on his own.
There's a tunnel linking the nursery to Gordon's enclosure, which is used to move orangs around. So in theory, it should be straightforward to get Xiao Kuai back. But she can be stubborn, so the team are apprehensive. So far, so good. Xiao Kuai and Awan have been separated from the others, and Xiao Kuai seems to be playing ball.
You know, you never know. Things can change very quickly, so we have to be very careful and have our wits about us.
But to everyone's surprise, Xiao Kuai seems quite happy to go back to Gordon's enclosure without her son. And Gordon also seems happy to see her.
I'm so pleased. You look at her now, she's happy eating, and she seems like not even try to look for Jin at the moment. I just try to focus on try to get Jin as happy as possible with everyone in the nursery, really.
Jin is having a whale of a time with Kai, Linga and Dinda. But now it's time for him to meet the other orangs in the nursery. These introductions are going to happen in the bedrooms rather than the playroom, as the staff can intervene more easily if there's a problem. 5-year-old Sylvester is a similar age to Jin, so it's decided they should meet next. Sylvester is a well-balanced orang and soon hits it off with his new playmate. 9-year-old Jolie is on the scene next. But the real question is how O'Sheen will react to Jin. She's a brilliant surrogate mum to Sylvester, but clearly doesn't like him hanging around with the new boy.
We are obviously very happy with him, how he's doing now. He's playing with all the kids, he's being very active, chasing the girls are chasing him. We have characters like Kai and Jolly who will not stop playing, and when one of them gets tired, they go to the other. So this is a really good place for him to be. He won't get bored here.
Alison and Jeremy are nearing the end of their long journey home with their precious cargo. But before they're allowed off the ferry, they need to transfer Flo to a special vehicle.
Here it comes.
Because of rabies regulations, Flo can't travel in the UK in Alison's car. So a Monkey World van, which has been quarantine approved, has come to take her on the final leg.
Are you good?
Yep.
Flo has coped surprisingly well with the journey from Munich, but the team are keen to keep her as calm as possible.
Right, place her facing forward so you can look through the mesh. And the 30-year-old stump-tailed macaque.
Officials are surprised at the unusual load.
Right,
Only another 3 hours and Flo will get a glimpse of her new housemates.
Sort of little bit of high stress at this point because you just need everything to go right for Flo, especially when we've gotten this far along. But in the end, she seems okay. She's a bit feisty, which is good because she's going to need to stand up for herself in that group of 9 other stumptails because they're a bit feisty themselves.
At the park, preparations have been made for Flo's arrival. The staff want her to feel as welcome as possible.
Okay, missus.
At the Stumpy house, the ugly monkeys, as they're affectionately known here, are unaware their number is about to grow. For now, Flo is going to be kept in a bedroom on her own, so she can get used to having other macaques around her.
There you go. Yeah, and if you want to make sure she's feeling comfy and happy. Yeah, straight up, confident. Okay. And you see her mobilities? Lovely little face. What a pretty face. It's a new lady.
The other monkeys are definitely inquisitive, but no one's quite sure how they're going to react to having another Stumpy on their territory, or whether she'll be a high or low ranker. Jonathan and Phil are hoping she may push them up the pecking order. Wishful thinking, boys. Next time on Monkey Life. Chimp Tico sees the dentist.
He's the worst one I've ever seen. Sometimes you get some hair packing, but not like this.
And Flo's on the defensive when she meets Stumpy leader Sam.